Heavy metal rock.
Global mind.
The sky is burning. The world is whirling.
Caboodle of My Global Mind, and today I'm excited to be speaking with former drummer, AC/DC drummer Chris Slade about the release of his new album, the Chris Slade Timeline, called Timescapes, which is going to be due out on July 19th. Chris, welcome. Pleasure to speak with you again.
Thank you very much, Robert. It's very nice to be here, and I'm glad you come back when the project is finished.
Yeah. So we spoke in 2020. You shared that you were working on an original album and some cover songs. So it's nice to finally hear it and have it come out. I think it's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I congratulate myself, actually, for finishing the project. It's a tremendous ego boost to me, if you like.
Good.
To have an album. I've got it right here.
Yeah.
Timescape. And it's just a great boost to the whole band, actually, to get this finished and mixed and actually on a disc, on a physical disc, because we've been working on this for, as you know, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And that is when I found, when we last spoke, like 2.5 years ago,
Yeah.
I discovered I could write melodies.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
And I've never written melodies before in my life. I've always written lyrics, some of which have been used, but not all, but I still kept writing lyrics anyway. I suddenly found 2.5 years ago I could write melodies. And this didn't mean just the melody of a song. This meant bass lines, string lines,
Oh, wow.
brass lines, 4-part harmony. It all just went plump into my brain, and I was able to access it, which is the trick, of course, accessing it in the first place. Because I think it's available to everyone around. You just got to be open enough to access it.
How do you translate it to your guitarists and your keyboardists? That's the challenge. It's one thing to have it in the head. It's another thing to get it out of the head and to somebody else.
Yeah, I hum quite well. And that's true, actually. I can sing in tune.
Oh, okay.
And I always have been able to sing in tune. So I just sing the part, and then I don't play a chordal instrument at all, more's the pity. And so I went to Mike, the keyboard player for Timeline, Mike Clarke, and he was invaluable in the writing of these songs.
Wow.
I'd say, and I go, okay, Mike, make some sense out of that, mate.
Make it sound great. That's funny.
And so it was, I want to try doing a bass line now. No, I've known bass players, of course, all my life. I've worked with some great bass players.
Right.
Pino Palladino, Tony Franklin, Guy Pratt, even of David Gilmour, and Pink Floyd, of course.
Right.
I know what a good bass line is. So I just came up with a few, and they all seemed to work. It seemed to fit together like a jigsaw, honestly.
It did.
And I was so surprised.
There was really nice consistency between all the original songs, I thought. There was it flowed nice, and they were all very similar. sounding. It was really well done. So congratulations and kudos. You should be very.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Because we had two different studios in that. So, which is hard to keep it sounding similar or that it would go together, if you like.
Right.
So thank you for saying that. That means a lot, actually.
When we spoke, it's been years you've been working on this. What's the oldest song and what's the newest song of the originals?
Of the originals, the oldest is Back with a Vengeance.
Okay.
And the newest is Time Flies
It's a great
and
song.
End of Eternity, which go together, actually. Those I've called Time Flies and End of Eternity Timescape. And I've called the album Timescape. All the guys agreed, by the way. I'm not sort of being autocratic here.
Yeah.
It's we share everything, and the guys agreed, and they said, you must sing Time Flies, because I demo everything
Yeah.
for the guys to listen to see if they want to do it or not, for one.
Right.
And so I go like, oh, guitar solo here. Yeah, and James will hear that and know where to put the guitar solo. So it's a democratic process. I'm more equal than they are, of course.
And for most of the people not listening right now, for most of the people listening right now, if they're not aware, it's a two disc set. So it's a CD of original and a CD of cover songs and a lot of AC/DC songs. So it's a really great packaging idea that I thought was really fantastic. You, Tell me a little bit about what made you choose the two AC/DC cover songs, High Voltage, and what was the other one? I have it on my notes here. High Voltage and Hell's Bells, because you didn't play on those. I would have assumed you would have stuck with pieces that from Razor's Edge.
Well, those are in the can. These are the songs that I thought were most suited for this album.
Mm-hmm.
We've always recorded over the last 10, 12 years. They've always been covers. And so some of them were not mixed, and they wouldn't be mixed in time. So these were ready. These were done live, the original, not the original, the covers. And, we did them live, but through a desk.
Okay.
So that they could at least be mixed somewhat, well, as opposed to the sound on your phone, which can be awful.
Yeah.
And it can be detrimental to a band, actually.
I
when
agree.
somebody sees something great and they film it and they put it out and it sounds disgusting. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Yeah.
And we know that, all of us in the business. And it's like, oh, it's off a phone. You can't really tell what this band is like.
Right.
So we were lucky to be able to get it to through a desk, at least.
Well, that's fascinating that the cover songs were all live, because that's what you sound like live when you guys play up. Because you're playing all around the country. All around Europe, and that's what you sound like. And you guys, it sounds terrific. That's incredible.
Yeah, we do. We've been working the 10, 12 years, except for the pandemic, and I went with AC/DC for 2 years.
Right.
But apart from that, we've been playing together. Like we were last Saturday, I was in Lyon, France. 2 weeks time, maybe even 1 week time. I can't remember now. We go to Italy for a weekend, then Germany. 3 months ago, we were in Poland.
Right.
This year, February, I think, we were in Chechnya.
Wow.
So, and we play in Germany and France all the time. So we love doing it. I love especially playing live. The guys are now seasoned professionals. They weren't when we started 12 years ago. They certainly are now. And they have a very professional attitude. We all do. And I always have anyway.
Right.
So I tried to impart that professionalism to the guys because I first saw them, they were playing in a pub. I knew them before on a personal level, but I saw them in this pub and they were doing covers, but they were doing covers of like Genesis and Kansas and all sorts of things like that, not the usual sort of pub stuff. And I knew immediately that they would be great to be my band if they wanted to be. Because not many musicians want to go from AC/DC to Manfred Mann's Earth Band, or even Tom Jones if it was needed. You know, it's like, no, man, I'm a heavy player. I can't do that sort of thing. That happens a lot. So I went to the guys, James and Mike, and asked them if they wanted to be my band, essentially, my timeline, which is what I was going to call it. And it could be Lifeline, it could be anything, but it's timeline. Yeah. But it's playing all the stuff I've been involved with throughout my life.
No, that's great. You know, and what I really liked about it was, and what I find fascinating is from what you were talking about earlier, was your passion and love for this CD. So in my mind, you wanted to be known more than just a cover band of doing the Manfred Mann, the AC/DC. And how important was it for you to put together originals and be part of this band and release an album?
It is amazing that I've got original songs, and the guys wrote one of the songs without me at all. I had no input in it at all, except for playing drums. And I think it's wonderful. They're writing more now. I'm writing more, and I'm writing with them also. So it's just fantastic to be able to do originals album.
Yeah, it really shows the depth. It really shows the depth of the band and the quality of the musicianship also.
Oh, it's thank you for that. But the band are amazing. I know everybody says we've got a fantastic band. This is the best band you'll ever see in your life.
Wow.
For musicianship. James and Mike have, and I mean that. James and Mike have been playing together since they were 11 years old, and they're 35 now. So it's the depth of their insight into each other's playing is formidable.
Right. And
the bass player is Stevie Gee. He's worked with the guys in the past, and he sings the Manfred Mann stuff and the Uriah Heep, and the other singer, Bun Davis, sings the AC/DC stuff.
Yeah, he does great.
And
he nails it.
Yeah, he does. You know, people have said to me, "Are you being sly here? Did you get Brian to sing on your track?" I said, "No, I don't think Brian would get out of bed to sing on one of my albums. Thank you."
Speaking of that, was it difficult to get the permission rights to be able to re-record the AC/DC songs?
No, anybody can record anything that's gone out there in the public domain.
Really?
Yes, that's always been a fact.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
You don't need permission. You do need permission to put visuals and music together.
Okay.
That's where people go wrong. They film themselves doing an AC/DC track, and it gets taken down by Facebook.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Because it's visual and sound together.
Got it.
So it's that is the trick there, but that has always been the case.
Okay.
For since the 50s or 60s, I think.
Got it.
Um,
Yeah, that's interesting. Now you were talking, you tour all around Europe. I know nothing. I'm from the United States, New Jersey. Um, how difficult is it to get your equipment around from France to Poland? Do you rent equipment while you're there? I know you take the Rock and Bust drum set out, but what about the
yep.
rest of the guys? The guitars, the amps, all the equipment. How do you get around Europe? It's so big.
We all travel in the van.
So you're really packing up a van and you're moving.
In the old-fashioned way, yes.
Oh, wow.
It's in the back in a compartment for safety,
Of course.
and we sit in front of that in a minibus. So we drive everywhere.
Wow.
It's not that I'm afraid of flying. It's that I cannot stand 2 hours of security before you get on a plane anymore.
I get it.
It's just such a waste of time. I understand it's for our safety. I'd rather just drive in the van.
No, I don't agree. I don't disagree with you. I hate flying for that perspective of delays and waiting. It's brutal. Canceled
Yeah.
flights, bad weather. I would rather drive most places. So you guys are all in the van. You're on a road trip across Europe. So you're really bonding and you're really becoming tighter and closer friends. And I think that shows on the album too.
We always have been.
Yeah.
As I say, I knew some of the guys before we became a band. So I knew what they were like as people, at least in the pub, having a pint, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic. And it's like a dream of my life, really. I always wanted to be a drummer all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't succeeded yet, but I'm working on it.
Well, maybe if you keep practicing, you'll get there.
Yeah, I am practicing. I'm practicing right now, actually.
You speak of touring. You've played the world's biggest stadiums with AC/DC and festivals, playing in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Does that ever get routine? Does it ever feel normal? Or what's the thought process of going out?
It's got to be, at least this is my take, it's got to be another day at the office.
Right.
To be honest.
That's what I thought too.
You've got to concentrate on what you're doing. You can look out and enjoy yourself. I've done it enough times now. I can look out the audience and think, oh, there's a lot of people here or whatever. I don't, it doesn't freak me out at all.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're a young player, for instance, with no experience, you're going to freeze.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be able to play.
Yep.
I
had nightmares like that. Like, I don't know the song.
This would be a real nightmare if it happened in reality.
Oh my God.
And what's reality? Oh, I don't know. Never mind. We won't go down that road.
True. Now you played on the Rock and Bust tour. Malcolm wasn't there. What was it like to not have Malcolm? Because he's such the backbone of AC/DC, the leader of AC/DC, the backbone of the music. Was it odd?
Yes, it was. He's a terrible loss. It's he was a genius.
Yeah.
The best rhythm player I have ever seen, certainly played with in my life. His drive on the guitar without speeding up, which is a trick in itself.
Right.
He was a great songwriter. Him and Angus are a great songwriting partnership.
Yep.
And their arrangements are fantastic. You can't change these things around much. You can only do the way they've done it.
Yeah.
And, they're just a tremendous writing machine is the way I see it.
Yeah.
And they were great together. He'd be sorely missed. I know Angus misses him terribly.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's his brother as well as his right-hand man, so to speak.
Was it odd not to have him on stage with you?
Yes. there was, Stevie was standing there,
Of course.
and Cliff was there also on the other side. So it felt a little bit but it was strange.
Yeah, no, I get it. What do you make of Cliff not going out on tour with the band?
Well,
Taking it a
he wants to go fishing with his son. Who
Good for
who
him.
is a fisher captain. He's a captain of a fisher boat.
Really?
So he wants to go out with him, and why wouldn't you?
Right.
Sit on the ocean, drink beer all day. Why not?
I do that too, but I don't go on the ocean to do it. I do it on dry.
Same here, actually. Yeah.
Oh, and forgive me if I get his name wrong. Matt Laug is touring as the drummer for AC/DC now. Do I have his name right?
Yes, you say it right, as far as I know.
What does Angus expect from a drummer in AC/DC? Because there's been so many, including yourself.
They do demos. And Malcolm did demos as well. So they would either drum together or separately, but they would both play drums. And because they play drums, and they would play the way they want you to play.
Oh.
It's no good being tricky dicky with an AC/DC song. Mm-hmm. They're basic. The rhythm section is basic. What Malcolm did on the top was the driving thing, which was just amazing.
Right.
And but the demos we get, and they always demoed stuff. So no matter who the drummer is, whether it's Matt, me, Simon, Phil, we all play those demos in the way that they play the drums.
Got it.
And that's a fact. It's not like, Slade isn't as good as Phil. We're all playing Angus and Malcolm.
Wow.
And that is a fact. You cannot get away from that.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yep.
Speaking of demos, when
better than the music is not a competition.
Yeah.
You can say, I like a person better than that other person. That's a subjective opinion. Mm-hmm. But you can't say this guy is better than this guy.
Right.
You can say, in my opinion, he's better than, but it's only your opinion.
Yep.
It doesn't mean it's written in stone that this guy is better. You might think it's written in stone, but it's not. I'm sorry to tell you guys, like the trolls are, this guy's better than this guy. It don't exist.
I agree with you.
In the music business, or it shouldn't exist in music. You can say, I like it better. Yep. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But don't try to persuade me that your opinion is better than my opinion, because I might like something different completely.
That's great. I have one more question for you, because I want to be respectful to your time for future interviews.
Thanks.
When you heard Thunderstruck for the first time, the demo that they gave to you, did you knew it was going to be a hit?
No.
No.
The only time in my life I've known things were going to be a hit was when Tom Jones did It's Not Unusual. The Squires and Tom did the demo for that. And we knew as soon as we'd finished, it only took us about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We knew that it was #1 record.
Wow.
And Tom knew it. All of us knew it. And it was written for somebody else, and Tom did the demo. So it was written for Sandy Shaw, actually, who was a girl singer back in the 60s, still going. And she said, this isn't my song. This belongs to the guy who's singing it right now.
Wow.
Which was Tom. And Tom said to the manager, we had an argument in the pub after the recording. And Tom said, if I can't have this song I'm going to pack up and go back to Wales. He was about 25.
Yeah.
He was told at 23 he was too old to make it
Wow.
in the music business, in pop world.
Yep.
You know, Herman's Hermits was coming up, and they were like teenagers. And Tom was 23, and you've had it now, Tom. You're over the hill, mate. Go back to working on a building site. You know, you make more money that way.
How wrong were they,
Yeah.
right?
He's still singing now. He's 88 years old.
That's huge, huge, huge. Well, Chris, I want to thank you so much for your time. I wish you the most success with the new album and touring, and
Thank
stay
you.
safe. And it was always a pleasure to speak with you, and I hope I speak with you again real soon.
Yeah. Before the next album's finished, maybe.
Yes. It was a fascinating interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much indeed. Very nice talking to you again.
Have
Bye
a great
for
day.
now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Heavy metal rock.
Global Mind.